Hello, friends. Welcome back to Up Next. This is the weekly podcast from Outside Noise, where my beautiful, intelligent co-host Carrie and myself, Kalen, talk we talk about the latest, greatest, newest albums from the underground that we think are worth talking about. And there was some pretty good stuff this week.
Yeah, we listen to a lot of stuff every week, so it's fun to kind of go off to the side here and just bring up stuff we're excited about. Yes. We just did our big sit down listening of everything, so these will be our first impressions of some stuff we're excited about.
Yeah, I don't know. I always want to talk more about the actual listening process too, because we said in our listening, and it's like what that actually looks like is us going into Bandcamp and Rate Your Music and shuffling through as much new music as we can find.
Yeah, it's we're casting our net once a week. We go
very wide,
find a bunch of stuff.
And some people have asked too, are you subscribed to any newsletters? Are there any labels that you look for specifically? And we
it depends.
It depends.
Yeah.
There's definitely some frequent labels that I see and I'm instantly oh, this is going to be good.
Right. Or folks, we've covered a lot of albums that a certain labels put out. So they follow us and we're kind of buddy just because by the nature of what they put out, it's similar to what we're looking for. That's another question we get from people beyond just listening. It's how do you pick what you like? And we have a smash or pass system. So
well, now we have the rapid fire as well, so if it's I don't know if I can write a full review of this, but I love it and want to shout it out.
Be communicated that it's a good album. So that's what rapid fire is for. But there's still more music.
There's still more.
So
there's always
here to
more
talk about it. We each have 3 albums to talk about this week. Do you want to kick us off?
Sure, yeah, I can get started.
Okay.
The album that I think caught my most attention, that's not a thing that anyone says, but whatever,
caught
most of my attention, that I listened to 3 times on repeat, was Uzi Freyja's Belize Don't Cry. This album is French rap, pop, R&B. She covers a lot of different genres within rap, and the French rap scene is really big. I don't think we've covered anything from France's rap underground, though.
I don't think so. Yeah,
but I see frequently enough. I'm oh, here's more French rap, and normally I'm not that into it, but in this she raps in both French and English, so that makes it a little more accessible for my monolingual American.
And I feel the genre she brings in too, it's just that perfect artistic voice to strike a chord with both of us. I love this album as well. You played some of it.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's awesome. It's very high intensity. I know we both really liked Baby Mother's Sleep Paralysis that came out last year, and this kind of reminded me of that in terms of it just coming out the gate swinging. I love her artistic direction too. So cool.
There's a lot of neon and sharp contrast and stuff, right? Is that true?
Yeah, and she is from Cameroon originally.
Oh, cool.
As well, I don't know if that it doesn't really matter, but just another.
It informs her context.
Yes,
so that's cool.
It's awesome. It's great. I really loved this album. I think Michael might write a review on it, so we'll see what Michael has to say.
If not, you should.
If not, then maybe I'll step up.
I think you can come up with enough good thoughts.
Yeah, there's some bangers on this album. I really liked the track Medusa as just an absolute standout. Great. That's pretty much all I have to say about it so far. But love it.
That's good. Starting off strong this week. I'm going to talk about something, kind of shift the mood a little bit, by an artist named Nyron Higor, which is an interesting name. But it's a self-titled album. It's sorry, I wasn't ready. I had to look up what this initialism is. It's MPB. It's Música Popular Brasileira. So just pop music of Brazil, but that often has sort of bossa nova and jazz influence.
I love that.
Which is really cool. So it's kind of soft and jazzy, and far from the first artist to do jazz and be political, but he's doing instrumental music with a sort of political message. I'm doing a poor job of explaining it.
No, that makes sense. Especially when you know the history of free jazz and stuff, and it's sort
jazz
of
in
roots
general,
in anarchy. Yeah, and all of jazz.
Totally.
Yeah, I don't know as much about Brazil's jazz scene and its political ties, but very interesting. I'd like to do more research.
Yeah, it's super cool. It reminds me of artists. Specifically, I thought of Hailu Mergia, who's an Ethiopian artist from the 70s, who also used a lot of keyboards and jazz. I think he also played accordion. So it's cool. Just a lot of that smooth instrumental kind of vibe. But this artist, Nyron Higor, has this mindset that seems a little more modern, that sort of brings a style to the present day of like finding depth in every second that you're playing your music. And so there is a lot of layering going on, and I think he's just able to be a little pickier about the production than jazz artists from like the 70s or whatever.
Right.
So it's really cool. I feel that like care is sort of infused into the album, and it's super vibey. And more like, quote, real music. If you are like an anti-vaporwave, you don't like lo-fi beats to relax to, I would say this is a great alternative.
Do you know if it's a solo effort or does he have other musicians involved?
Oh, I believe there are a bunch of
it.
musicians involved. Yeah, he's got them listed out in the Bandcamp. There's indigenous whistle on this, a little drum. It looks like, yeah, a bunch of folks involved with this, but he's like the main guy, which is cool. Yeah, he doesn't talk a ton specifically about the political influence, just saying he is a young black man from the northeast of Brazil, coming from a humble background. Financially speaking, its context is political. So
and I love hearing that too. It's like it doesn't have to be a huge political statement, but just acknowledging that these things don't exist in a vacuum.
Right. Totally.
Yeah, love it.
All
right. Let's see. Is it my turn now?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. I am going to talk about 4 Portraits of the Same Ugly House by Pebbledash.
This is another great one. This is a strong week. I love these. Yeah.
This is Irish kind of folk, shoegaze, dream pop, core.
Well, it's called 4 Portraits of the Same Ugly House. It is 4 tracks of wildly different styles. Yeah. Perhaps the portraits of the ugly house.
Of the ugly house in question.
Yeah.
We have covered a few things from the Irish sort of indie underground too.
Yeah, experimental.
Oxen is great. Lankum is great. Fontaines D.C. is also sort of tangentially in this scene as well. So if you like those types of bands, then you'll definitely like this record. And I think the first track is actually a Hank Williams cover.
Oh, cool.
So it's cool to see them.
It was like deep and dark and folky.
Yeah. They talked about how the original song is just like Hank Williams and a guitar.
Yeah.
And then they took it and did like an Irish folk twist on it, but with their full band doing, again, like you said, this sort of like deep, dark, almost funeral dirge.
Yeah, it's very intense. Yeah. Not what you think of with like a country song, but really cool interpretation.
I love the production on this record too. Yeah, just that dreamy, like washed out sound that makes it feel echoey and cavernous.
Yeah. But it also has its like upbeat moments and like you said, dream pop and at the same time shoegaze in the next track. And yeah, there's a lot to love here. Lots to chew on. Lot to love.
Yeah. It jumps into more intense moments too and just goes back and forth between this like sort of these like swells of waves kind of crashing. Amazing. I really, really liked this one and I might write a review on it.
We're committing to a lot here.
I know. I'm like, well, Michael can write this one. I'll write this one.
We'll split it up. Well, Kalen, I'm sure we can make that happen, but you know what's not going to happen is he's not going to read your mind and do it. You're going to have to tell him that if that's how you want the split to go.
You're right. I'm going to have to like put it on our schedule that we have so that we can all know this.
Be like, I want to write about this one. Do you want to write about this one?
I really liked writing the review for that Oxen album too.
It was amazing. So yeah. And the band liked it too.
Wow. Isn't that nice when the band likes the review that you write for their album? Normally that happens. A lot of the time it happens.
Yeah, it's lovely when it happens.
Cool. All right, cool. Your turn.
Cool. Next project, Pendragon's Cross, I think is how I meant to pronounce it. Pendragon's Cross by Negashi Armada. This is cool. I guess Michael sometimes writes about like cloud rap projects. We've had a few come up.
I like that we keep talking about Michael. He's not here, but the specter of Michael looms over outside noise.
Michael does a lot of the physical review writing, and we do a lot behind the scenes. So
right.
Michael is a thread through all of this. But this is really cool cloud rap, very well produced. It's like ethereal, but in like a heavenly sort of way. You think of like Raphael and trumpets and like heavenly angels and things like that.
Yeah, I think a lot of cloud rap tries to hit that sound, but this one takes it to such like a
sparkly nighttime thing, and this is more like spiritual.
Like,
yeah.
ah.
Which is cool. We also sometimes say things like cinematic to mean something is too big, but this is cinematic in a cool way.
Yeah.
And the bars are really, really fun. And I like this artist's like sense of humor that just sort of shines through alongside this divine sort of setup.
Yeah.
It's cool to see them side by side. It's also a super long album. It's like 20 something tracks.
It's cool too because a lot of cloud rap tends to be more like bedroom and minimally produced and lo-fi and fuzzy. But this album really takes it to a level beyond what you would normally expect.
Yeah, super fun. I love it. Pendragon's Crossed by Negashi Armada. That's what that one is. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to talk
one more
about A Warning to the Curious by 30 Door Key.
Yeah.
This is a hauntological...
30 Door Key?
30 Door Key, yeah.
Door Key. Sorry.
It's okay.
I thought it was funny. I don't know.
Just to confirm, yes, 30 door key. A key that opens 30 doors?
Oh.
Maybe. I don't know. It is a hauntological electronic album with a lot of different samples and pulls from so many references. The artist goes through them all on the Bandcamp page. Maybe I'll put like a screenshot.
Yeah, because I wonder what they are.
So many. I know they talk about what I get from this album from my first listen through that I recall seeing on the list or like tangentially. Plantasia.
Yes.
Moog. Old like Doctor Who. Also, I think this artist.
Yeah, it does have that sort of soft Moog, I guess is the way to put it. Yeah.
This is like, we talked about this too with the Requiem for the Ontario Science Center. Yes. This sort of like retrofuturistic idea of what the future would be like if you were in like the 1960s.
Just shiny and full of wonder.
Yeah. So it's that sound that's very like optimistic but blurry, and this gets a little dark with it too. It's a little creepy as well. Again, there's also kind of like Doctor Who.
Hauntological about it.
Yeah. And it goes through a lot of different sounds as well, so it's not just, oh no, my bandana's falling off. Oh my god.
Oh, it untied.
I'm having a wardrobe malfunction. I'm just gonna ditch it. That's okay.
The show must go on.
The show must go on. Yeah, all these different references I think makes this album really deep. There's a lot to explore within it. It's also quite long with about an hour runtime, but it goes through. It doesn't get like boring, which I think is really easy to do with this sort of like ambient hauntological stuff,
right? Like instrumental, yeah,
and stuff, but it kind of keeps you on your toes.
That's cool. And I think pulling from a wide frame of reference is how you have something that continues to be interesting.
Right. It's sort of like haunted library.
I love that. Yes, that's exactly what it is when you hear it, because like you said, there's something kind of shiny about it, but this is done in a really unsettling way. So it's like kind of academic, but not totally dark academia.
No, not like dark academia.
But it's dark and academic a little bit.
It's really great stuff, and check out all of the references. Nurse with Wound. We're also pulling from like power electronic stuff here.
Cool.
It's great.
I love it. Well, say the name one more time.
It is A Warning to the Curious by 30 Door Key.
Hell yeah. Are we ready to talk about our very last album before a special little segment that we have cooked up?
Yes.
Okay, great. My last album is Mariagrep Is Not a Crime by Mariagrep. This is cool. This is an artist who, again, we see a lot of small artists who are swinging big with like their image as an artist and everything. I think... I don't know if I talked about the Ella Minus album last week.
I don't think so.
Okay, there's another electronic artist. I love the commitment to the craft and like sticking your neck out and doing it. And I feel like this artist is a really good representation of pop music right now. Sort of rave pop with a glitch and house influence, but there's also melodies and there's singing and thought behind, I guess, the music, not just... we have some techno music sometimes that just is very repetitive in one note, and I feel like this is just not that, but it still has house in it. It's really cool. A point I had about this Mariagrep album was like hyperpop being so widespread, and just sort of assimilating into music, pop music specifically, sometimes leads to like cringy results. You think of all the artists people were talking about last year who were so late to the hyperpop train, like Katy Perry, Halsey, whatever. You're trying to like do the e-girl image way after the fact, and it looks bad. And I feel like this is just a seamless adoption of it into the very many styles that Maria's doing in the album. Like glitch and hyperpop just happens to also be there. And it's a dance album, and it's a raving album, and it's a house album.
Yes, I like that it's not just that one sound.
Yeah.
She's not just doing hyperpop.
It's my favorite kind of pop, when you're doing everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love there's some breakbeat in this too.
Yes.
I really like that stuff in here. And even though the album is in Spanish, I feel like with my very rudimentary understanding of Spanish, I was still able to pick up like some of the lyrics.
Yeah, and
so
there's still a lot to enjoy if you don't get the lyrics. Totally. That too. No, she explains it really well. You do have to go translate it, but the liner notes in Bandcamp kind of talk about the perspective she wanted to take. I don't know, it's cool. She definitely lists Charlie as an influence, which you can kind of hear in it.
I hear that, but it's also not just like cut and paste Charlie XCX.
Not at all. Yeah, not at all. It's really cool.
I like it, and it kind of does that same thing though that Brat does. At least what I got from it, that it was a little bit of the when the party isn't fun anymore.
Yes,
or like going and feeling kind of outcasted and not necessarily welcome in your scene.
Yeah, I love that stuff. I love when sad women make pop music. So I was excited about it. This is one, if you are on our Patreon, patreon.com/outside noise, I think. If not, find
I think
it
that's right.
below, I guess.
We link it in the description.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be talking about this one on our next full person podcast episode that will be behind that paywall there. Or you can get a free trial and listen to it there as well. But that'll be coming out soon.
Yeah. I was saying, yay, free trial.
Okay.
I don't know. No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, there's a free trial.
There is a free trial. Isn't that fun? Isn't that great?
Where we'll be talking about it a little more in depth, and then might make a video on this one too. Just while we're saying we're gonna make a video about all of these,
we can do it.
We'll see.
If we have infinite time. We are both traveling some this week though, so we'll see how that impacts things. All right, are we ready to move on to our special in segment?
Yeah, so you might know the Grammys happened this weekend, and that's not what we're talking about.
No, it's not. We're going to talk
bigger
about
news.
Tekashi 6ix9ine's IRS auction. So this is all the stuff that the IRS seized from Tekashi 6ix9ine after he went to prison for like tax evasion or whatever he did. I don't even really know. But I know he got in trouble with the IRS. That's always how they get you.
That's how they get you. It doesn't matter what else you do.
But now all of his stuff is up for sale, for bid on liveauctioneers.com. So I thought that it would be fun to kind of share some of our favorites. I thought that this spinner shark enamel pendant was pretty sick.
That's pretty sick.
But it is currently bidding for $52,000, so it's a little outside of my budget.
It's a little bit outside of my budget. It's cool. I like his angry face. I like his sharp teeth. They made a scary version.
Well, if you like those teeth, we do also have the gold and enamel rainbow grills that were kind of his like signature for a moment.
And they mold them to your teeth, yes?
You know, I had questions about that. I do think this is going to be more of just a display piece.
Okay, you're probably not wearing them.
Don't think you can wear them if you aren't Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Well, this one is $3,000. Can we swing that? Can we get the grills?
You know, I was actually looking. There's this really pretty Hamsa necklace. Which is only $400, so that's a little more in budget.
That's cool. It's sterling silver.
Yeah, it looks nice.
Okay.
It has, some stones in here. I assume maybe cubic zirconia or something, if we're just calling it stone. Oh, wow. We have a lot of information.
There's a lot of very detailed
information. It is a spinner. The Hamsa is a spinner as well. That's pretty cool.
Is he like, do you think he's like enlightened?
I don't know. Well, he also had a lot of like Star of David stuff, and this isn't also the only Hamsa in his collection. So I'm wondering, maybe he does have like Jewish heritage. I don't know. We're on the Wikipedia page. Do we have a personal life section?
No, we do, but I'm going to feuds.
No, but we're trying to.
Okay. Personal life. He's Christian.
That's great. Anyway, that doesn't really answer any of the questions, but I do like this $400.
He has asthma.
Hamsa. That's great. And then finally, I thought that this Le Chiquito coil top handle bag was really chic.
Wait, yeah, there are some nice handbags.
Some nice
Takashi,
handbags.
6'9", Mr. Hernandez is really carrying some nice bags around.
I liked his bags. So live bidding starts in 29 days, so we got plenty of time to browse, to look around at what they got for sale up here.
What is the most expensive item? What's a wildly expensive item that's on the list? This is a
This
$10,000
Hermes Birkin bag
Oh,
is $10,000.
Coco want Birkin. Coco Birkin. Jealousy professor.
Yeah. We have a lot of his records, his plaques, his
Selling
platinum.
out of the gold and platinum records.
I
Guys.
think the most expensive item on here, though, that Spinner Shark was $52,000, but his actual Bruce the Shark diamond pendant at $60,000, I think, might be the priciest.
That Bruce the Shark,
item.
that's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool, especially if you're a big fan of Finding Nemo.
Right? And you were like, I wish I had Bruce the Shark
I wish
as a
I
necklace
had,
in like gold or whatever.
I wish I had
Diamond.
I don't even know how to read this. Is this
118 CTW diamond pendant? If
like
any
a
of you know what
million
that
carats?
means.
It's 10 carats white gold. I don't really know what all this means. It was featured in the Gooba music video and the Trolls featuring Nicki Minaj music video.
Okay.
They will only accept wire transfer as a payment for this lot, so get your wire transfers ready. And if you have a similar item to sell, you can contact them at info@marketauctionsinc.com.
There's a lot of fun stuff there. Any closing thoughts?
What are you excited for this week?
Oh, that's sweet. We're going to Virginia. I guess that's fine. They can know we're going to
Yeah, they can know we're going to Richmond, Virginia.
You don't know when or why.
Or
Except
where.
I'll tell you why. Because they have a baby hippo at the zoo, and I want to see it.
The hippo is, in fact, Mudang's niece.
It is Mudang's niece, so it's also a pygmy hippo, and it's teeny tiny, and we were like, oh my god, I want to go to Thailand and see Mudang. But
I don't have go to
that's
Thailand
impossible.
money, but
Right.
I do have go to Richmond money.
Yeah.
I can get my way over there. Well, we were also inspired because the Cincinnati Zoo had Fritz, the baby pygmy hippo.
Right, when we were still living in Nashville.
And so it would have been a convenient road trip, but we waited around, and now Fritz is like
giant.
Fritz is big. I don't care about Fritz anymore.
Damn,
He's not
I love
cute
hippos.
anymore.
But it is special when there's a baby.
When
And
it's
so
a
I just want to
baby.
see the baby while she's tiny.
While
I
she's
think her
baby.
name is Poppy.
Yes.
Very sweet. And so that's what I'm looking forward to. What about you?
Can I steal the same thing? Can
Yeah.
we be looking forward to the same
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah,
I
we
mean, that's
can.
like a really big.
It's a big
gonna
one.
be fun. We got our Airbnb.
And there's a big game on Sunday that our team is playing in.
Yeah.
Go Birds.
Go Birds. All right. And with that, thank you for listening and watching. Up next, tell us cool things to do in Richmond.
And tell us which of these albums was your favorite. Why not?
Yeah. And go bid on some of 6ix9ine stuff, I guess.
Maybe.
Great. Bye.